Breathe, man, Liam whispered as he straightened my tie. You look like you're about to pass out. I'm fine, I lied, feeling my heart hammer against my ribs. You sure the candles look okay? They're candles, not fireworks, he grinned. She's gonna say yes, stop panicking! I glanced toward the restaurant entrance, palms sweaty. The private terrace glowed under string lights, soft music floating through the air. I'd spent a month planning this moment, every flower, every song, every second. When Emma finally walked in, wearing that pale blue dress she loved, the world went silent. She smiled when she saw me, eyes wide with surprise. Ethan, what is all this? She asked, her voice trembling. I took a deep breath. Dinner, stars, and maybe forever. She laughed softly. You're ridiculous. Ridiculously in love, I said, dropping to one knee. Her hand flew to her mouth. Emma Taylor, will you marry me? Gasps filled the terrace. Friends and family hidden behind the curtains started clapping before she even answered. She nodded, tears spilling. Yes, of course, yes. The sound that followed, cheers, laughter, champagne popping, felt like pure sunlight. Liam ran up, hugging me so hard the ring box nearly slipped from my hand. Finally, he shouted. My boy's growing up. About time, right? I said, laughing. Emma turned to him, smiling. You helped him plan this, didn't you? Liam winked. Maybe I gave him a few ideas. You're lucky I didn't propose first, she playfully hit his arm. You'd have said no before I finished the question. Their laughter blended so naturally it made me smile. Back then I thought it meant we were all family, inseparable. We danced under the lights. Emma whispered against my shoulder. I can't believe this is real. It's as real as it gets, I said, holding her closer. You and me, forever. She looked up, eyes shining. Promise. I promise. The band played our song, the one we used to sing driving back from the lake. Her head rested against my chest, and for the first time in my life, I felt complete. Liam clinked his glass. Speech! The groom-to-be owes us one. I rolled my eyes but raised my champagne. To love, simple, stubborn, and terrifying, Emma smiled. And worth it, everyone cheered again. Cameras flashed. Someone shouted for a kiss. I leaned in and she met me halfway. Soft, certain, beautiful. For a second, I swear time stopped. Her perfume, the lights, the warmth, it all felt untouchable. Perfect. Later, as everyone laughed around us, Liam nudged me. Told you she'd say yes. Yeah, I said, smiling at Emma across the table. She's everything, he raised his glass again. Then here's to forever, brother. To forever, I echoed, clinking his glass. If only I'd known that forever had an expiration date. The clock read 11:47 p.m. when Emma's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen, then flipped it face down. Who was that? I asked. Work, she said too quickly. A client from New York. Time zones, you know. At midnight? She gave a short laugh. You'd be surprised how many people don't sleep when deals are closing. I stared at the dim phone light pulsing beneath her hand. You could have answered. She looked up from the couch, annoyed. Ethan, it's late. I'll call them tomorrow. Can we not turn every beep into an interrogation? I'm not interrogating. You are. She stood, grabbing her glass. I'm tired. The bedroom door closed before I could answer. I sat there, listening to the faint hum of the refrigerator, wondering when her laughter had started sounding like a cover. The next morning, she was all smiles. You're coming to brunch with Liam, right? Yeah, I said. Wouldn't miss it. When I saw Liam at the cafe, he seemed different, tense, distracted. His usual grin felt forced. Big man, he said, clapping my shoulder. How's engaged life treating you? Good, I said, studying him. You look tired, he laughed nervously. Too much work, not enough sleep? Emma mentioned she had late calls too. You two should start a support group. He looked at his cup. Yeah, she works hard. Something in his tone stung. It wasn't what he said. It was how careful he was saying it. Emma joined us, bright and polished. Sorry, traffic was insane. She kissed my cheek, then glanced at Liam. Hey, you look like death warmed over. He smiled weakly.
Long night. They shared a quick look, one I couldn't quite read.
Maybe guilt. Maybe nothing. I told myself I was overthinking. At home later, I watched her cook, humming softly. The smell of a new perfume lingered, sweet but unfamiliar. New scent? I asked. She smiled. Sample from work. You like it? Yeah, I said. It's different. Different good or different bad? Just different. She laughed, brushing it off. You're terrible at compliments. We ate in silence, and every clink of the fork sounded louder than it should have. That night, when she went to shower, I saw her phone light up again. Unknown caller. It stopped after 2 rings. When she came back, towel in hand, I asked, You sure everything's okay at work? Her eyes met mine for a second too long. Why wouldn't it be? No reason, I lied. She sat beside me, touching my arm. You're overthinking. You always do that when you're stressed. Maybe, I said. I just want to make sure we're good. She smiled, leaned in, kissed my cheek. We're perfect. But when she fell asleep, I stared at the faint glow from her phone. My gut whispered one thing. My heart kept saying another, and I chose to listen to the wrong one. It happened over breakfast. Nothing dramatic, just coffee and silence. Emma scrolled through her phone, smiling. You remember that Italian place from last Friday? She said. Their pasta was unreal. I looked up. Friday? I thought we stayed in. She froze for half a second. Oh, right. I meant Thursday. The day before? No, Thursday we had takeout, I said slowly. She laughed, stirring her coffee too fast. You and your memory. I mixed up days, that's all. I smiled back, but something twisted inside me. Guess I'm losing track, too. She leaned over the counter, kissed my cheek. You worry too much. But as she walked away, I replayed that slip again and again. Friday. Dinner. Unreal pasta. With who? That night, I tried to act normal. So, what was that restaurant called again? She looked up from her laptop. What restaurant? The one with the pasta. You mentioned it this morning. Oh, that. I don't remember. You don't remember. It was just a random comment, Ethan. Her tone was sharp now. I dropped it, pretending it didn't matter, but my chest felt heavy. Later, while folding laundry, I noticed one of her silver earrings missing. Lose something? I asked. She came over. What? The other earring. It's gone. Oh, she said casually. Must have fallen off at work. I nodded, though I'd heard that answer before. The next few days blurred together. She stayed late at the office. Meetings, deadlines, clients. Her phone stayed face down. Always. One night, I heard her whispering on the balcony. I stepped closer, trying not to make a sound. Don't call me this late, she said softly. He's inside. My pulse spiked. When I stepped out, she ended the call. Who was that? I asked. Work, she said again. God, you really need to trust me. I do, I whispered, lying through my teeth. She turned away. Then act like it. I couldn't sleep. My mind replayed every word, every pause, every smile she'd ever given me. Doubt crawled under my skin. The next morning, I watched her get dressed. A new black dress I hadn't seen before. New outfit? I asked. She nodded, applying lipstick. Gift from a client. It's part of the collaboration thing. Generous client. She met my eyes in the mirror. You're starting to sound jealous. Maybe I am. Then stop. It's unattractive. She walked out before I could answer, heels echoing down the hallway. When the door closed, I sat on the bed, staring at the spot where her earring should have been. The silence felt louder than any argument. I told myself she was just busy, that stress made people distant. But deep down, I knew something was unraveling, slowly, painfully. I didn't confront her. I didn't chase proof. I just waited, smiling through a storm only I could feel. Because sometimes love doesn't end with a fight. It ends with a lie that slips too easily. I was in the office late, piecing together footage from a corporate event. Just routine editing. Cut, align, export. The glow from the monitors was the only light in the room. I remember thinking how quiet everything felt. Peaceful almost. Then a random file popped into the timeline, labeled Hotel Security Cam, Lobby Feed. I frowned. We didn't use hotel footage for this project, I muttered. Curiosity won. I clicked play. The screen flickered. Grainy video, a dim hallway. I leaned closer, expecting random guests. Then I saw her, Emma. She was walking toward the elevator, smiling. My chest tightened. What the hell? I whispered. And then he appeared. Liam. They stood too close. His hand brushed her arm. She didn't pull away. I froze, eyes wide, throat dry. The sound of my heartbeat drowned everything. Don't, I whispered to myself, pressing pause. It's not what it looks like, but I hit play again. He leaned in. She looked around once, and then they kissed. Not a peck. Not confusion. A real kiss, familiar, practiced. My fingers slipped off the keyboard. No, no, no. I replayed it again, once, twice. Each time I waited for something different to happen. For her to push him away. For the universe to rewrite the truth. She didn't. My voice cracked as I said her name out loud. Emma, why? The air felt heavier with every breath. I tried to reason, to find an explanation. Maybe it's old footage. Maybe it's someone else, maybe... But Liam turned toward the camera for a second, clear enough to kill every excuse. I slammed my fist against the desk. The sound echoed through the empty office. After everything, I muttered. After every promise. The footage looped automatically, replaying their movements like a cruel rhythm. Her laugh. His touch. Their kiss. I whispered, "Stop," but my hands didn't move. I wanted to hate her. Hate him. But all I felt was this hollow silence crawling inside me, filling every space where love used to live. My co-worker, Noah, called from across the room. You still here, man? I quickly minimized the window. Yeah, just finishing the renders. You look pale. You good? I'm fine, I lied, voice shaking. Just tired. He nodded and left, the door clicking shut. The moment it did, I opened the file again. This time I watched their body language, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the smile she only used with me. Every second burned. When the clip ended, I just sat there staring at the black screen. My reflection looked like a stranger, eyes red, lips trembling. I whispered, "It's just a kiss." Right? But I couldn't even believe my own voice. I opened my phone, scrolling through our photos. Us at the beach. Her in my hoodie. Liam holding the camera, laughing behind it. All of it felt like some sick joke I didn't understand yet. I picked up the USB drive, gripping it so hard my knuckles whitened. You both lied to me, I said under my breath. The clock on the wall ticked louder, every second mocking me. I wanted to call her. Confront her. Scream. But the thought of hearing her lie again made my stomach twist, so I just sat there in silence, replaying the video one last time. Her hand on his face. His thumb tracing her jaw. The kind of tenderness that used to belong to me. My heart didn't break with noise. It broke quietly, like glass cracking underwater. When the screen finally went dark, I whispered, "So this is what love looks like when it dies." My phone kept buzzing. Emma's name over and over again. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The first text said, "Hey, are you okay?" Then another. "You've been so quiet." Did I do something? Yeah, you did something. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering, but I locked it instead. Silence felt safer. I sat there for hours, just listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the faint ticking of the clock. My head was loud, though, louder than anything around me. Her laughter echoed in my mind, that same laugh from the hotel clip. I whispered, "How could you?" I walked to the window, staring out at the rain streaking down the glass. It felt like the sky was mocking me, crying when I couldn't. The phone buzzed again. This time, Liam. For a second, I thought maybe he knew. Maybe guilt finally cracked through his fake smile. I answered, "Hey, man." His voice sounded too normal. "You disappeared after work yesterday. Everything good?" I clenched my jaw. "Yeah, just busy." "Busy? On a Friday night?" He laughed lightly. "Come on, that's not you." I swallowed hard. "People change." He paused. "You sure you're okay?" I wanted to scream. To tell him I saw everything. But my words came out cold. "I'm fine, Liam. Thanks for checking." Cool, he said, still pretending. "Emma told me you've been quiet lately." "You two fighting?" The air left my lungs. "No," I said flatly. "Not yet," he chuckled awkwardly. "Man, you sound weird tonight." "Yeah," I muttered. "Guess it's one of those nights." He said something else, something meaningless, but I wasn't listening anymore. I just ended the call mid-sentence. For a long time, I stared at my reflection in the dark window. My eyes didn't look like mine, I whispered. You're both liars. The words felt strange, heavy, but true. I sat on the couch scrolling through old videos. Emma laughing at my stupid jokes. Liam recording us during vacations. My own voice saying things like forever and I trust you. I hit pause. What a joke, I muttered. My chest didn't ache anymore. It burned. I thought about texting her, asking, who were you with at the hotel? But I knew how it would go. She'd lie. She'd cry. She'd twist it until I was the paranoid one. No, not this time, I whispered. You don't get to break me quietly. The clock hit midnight. I still hadn't moved. My fingers tapped the armrest, restless, electric. I imagined their faces when they'd realize I knew. The fear, the guilt, the collapse of the little world they built behind my back. For the first time in days, I almost smiled. The storm in me wasn't sadness anymore. It was focus. I stood, grabbed the USB from my desk, and slipped it into my pocket. My voice came out steady, almost calm. They'll break first, I said. Not me. The rain kept falling outside, but inside me something had gone still, like the quiet right before lightning hits. Do you like this color? Emma twirled in front of the mirror, her voice light. The pale gold dress shimmered under the lights. It's perfect, I said, smiling just enough. You'll look beautiful in anything. She grinned, brushing a strand of hair back. You're being extra sweet lately. Should I be suspicious? Maybe I'm finally learning how to be a decent fiancé. She laughed, that same laugh that used to make me melt. Now it just echoed like a lie. Inside I counted. 4 days until the party. She turned, holding 2 invitation samples. White or cream? Whichever feels right to you, I said, checking my phone. Liam had texted, lunch tomorrow? Need to go over some files, I replied, sure, can't wait. My reflection in the boutique mirror smiled like it actually meant it. Emma caught me looking. You okay? Never better, I said, voice steady. She frowned slightly. You've been calm. Too calm. Would you prefer I panic over napkins? She rolled her eyes. You're impossible. I walked closer, resting my hands on her shoulders. You're the impossible one, I whispered. You make everything feel like it matters. Her cheeks flushed. God, you're being romantic today. Maybe I'm just grateful, I said softly. For seeing who you really are, I added silently. On the drive home, she hummed to the radio. I kept my eyes on the road, every word measured. So Liam's coming tonight, right? She asked. Yeah, I said. Wouldn't miss it. Good, he's been helping so much. You two are finally getting along again. Yeah, I murmured. We've got a lot to talk about. Her phone buzzed. She glanced, smiled faintly, and flipped it face down again. Same habit. Same lie, I forced a chuckle. Still hiding client secrets? Always, she teased, missing the edge in my tone. That night, I met Liam at the usual bar. Man, it's been ages, he said, clapping my shoulder. Yeah, I replied, taking a seat. Feels good to catch up, he ordered beers. So the engagement party, big plans? Big enough, I smiled. You'll have a front row seat, he grinned. You're not nervous? Not even a little, I said, sipping slowly. I've accepted that everything's exactly as it should be. He frowned, confused. You sound weirdly zen. Guess I'm done worrying. I leaned in slightly. Sometimes you just let things play out, right? He nodded uncertainly. Right. I laughed, clinking my glass against his. To honesty and good friends, he hesitated before clinking back. Yeah, to that. When I got home, Emma was asleep on the couch, her phone still glowing beside her. I looked at it, then at her peaceful face. My fingers twitched, but I didn't touch it. Not yet, I whispered. Just a few more days. Her breathing stayed steady, calm, trusting. I smiled, a quiet, practiced smile. The kind I'd perfected lately. Act normal, I told myself. Just a little longer. Hey, Emma said softly, standing at the doorway. You've been distant lately. I looked up from my laptop, pretending to be distracted. Work's been heavy. You know how it is, she stepped closer. No, it's more than that. You barely talk anymore. Maybe I've just run out of things to say. Her brows furrowed. That's not funny, I sighed, leaning back. Would you ever lie to me, Emma? She froze. The question hung in the air like a blade. Lie, she repeated, forcing a laugh. Where's that coming from? Just answer, I said quietly. Would you? She tilted her head, smile too practiced. Never. You know me better than that. I held her gaze, searching for something real. Yeah, I whispered. I do. She sat beside me, placing her hand on mine. I hate it when you get like this, all serious and weird. Like what? Like you don't trust me, I smiled faintly. Do I have a reason not to? Her hand stiffened just for a second. Of course not, she said, voice soft but sharp at the edges. The silence stretched. I could hear the hum of the fridge, the ticking clock, my heartbeat. She sighed and kissed my cheek. You're overthinking again. That's your problem. You always assume the worst. Maybe, I said, forcing a laugh. Or maybe I just noticed too much, she chuckled nervously. Stop being dramatic. You're scaring me. I wouldn't want that, I murmured. She got up and walked toward the kitchen. I'll make tea. You clearly need to relax. As she moved away, I clicked my phone's side button. Recording started. Her voice drifted from the kitchen. I love you, you stubborn man. Even when you go silent on me. I stared at the glowing red icon. Every word she said now would be saved. When she returned, holding 2 mugs, I smiled. Say that again. What? She laughed. That I love you? Yeah, humor me, she smiled, brushing her hair back. I love you. Always will, I raised my mug. Promise? Promise. That word echoed longer than it should have. Later, when she fell asleep beside me, I lay there listening to the recording, her promises, her warmth, her lies. The sound made my stomach twist. I whispered into the dark. Never, huh? The red light on my phone blinked once before I turned it off. Her fate was sealed, not by rage, but by her own voice. Are you sure about the roses? Emma asked, tapping her pen on the notepad. Yeah, I said. Red and white, classic. She smiled. You're getting good at this. Maybe I should let you plan the whole thing. Maybe you should, I said, keeping my voice light. I like getting things perfect, she grinned. Then perfect it is. Inside, I whispered to myself. Perfectly timed, perfectly planned. Liam walked into the cafe all cheerful. There's my favorite couple. Finally, I said, standing to shake his hand. You're late, he laughed. You know me. Can't resist traffic. Emma rolled her eyes. He means coffee. We all laughed. 3 actors in one cruel scene. So, Liam said, spreading the event list. The venue's confirmed, catering sorted, and I got the projector set up ready. Good, I said, hiding my smirk. That's the most important part. He looked up. You're really into this video idea, huh? Yeah, I replied. I want it to feel personal, like everyone's watching how far we've come. Emma smiled. Oh, that's actually sweet. I looked at her, studying the sincerity in her eyes. It'll be unforgettable, she leaned forward. Can we add that photo from the beach? The one where you're holding me? Of course, I said. I already picked it, Liam chuckled. Man, you're making the rest of us look bad. Don't worry, I said. You'll have your moment too, he raised an eyebrow. What's that supposed to mean? Just that you're part of the story, I said casually. Wouldn't be complete without you. He nodded, satisfied. Glad to be part of it. I took a sip of coffee to hide my tightening jaw. You already are, Liam. Later that night, I sat alone at my desk, laptop glowing. I added the final slides, pictures of us laughing, dancing, pretending. Then, at the very end, I inserted the video. No title, no transition, just truth. I hit play once. Emma's face appeared, smiling in that hotel hallway. Then Liam's arm. Their hands. Their kiss. I stared until the loop ended, then exhaled. Perfect, I whispered. The next day, I met with the videographer. So, this presentation, he said, you want it synced with music? Yes, I said. Start with something slow, sentimental, then fade to silence at the end. He nodded. Got it. Any special message to close with? Yeah, I smiled faintly. No words. Just let it speak for itself. When I got home, Emma was testing makeup samples. You look tired, she said. Just working too much. She kissed my cheek. You're amazing, you know that? I can't wait to show everyone what we've built together. I met her gaze. Me neither. She didn't see the small USB drive I slipped into my pocket. Everything was ready. The guests, the lights, the music, the story. Everyone thought it was a love story, only I knew it was a confession. And when the screen lit up that night, every secret would burn in front of them all. The hall shimmered with golden lights. Laughter spilled from every corner. Champagne glasses clinked and the band played something soft, romantic. Everything looked flawless, exactly the way she wanted. Emma turned to me, smiling. "You did all this." "Of course," I said. "For you." She touched my arm, eyes glistening. "I can't believe this is real." "Neither can I whispered. Liam appeared beside us, grinning. "Man, you've outdone yourself. This is movie-level perfect. Glad you think so," I said. "Wouldn't be the same without you." He laughed, completely unaware. "Hey, that slideshow ready?" Emma's been dying to see it. "Oh, it's ready," I said quietly. "You'll love it." The guests gathered as the lights dimmed slightly. Emma waved at the crowd. "Thank you all for coming. Tonight means everything to us." Her voice shook with excitement. I could almost respect how good of an actress she was. The host handed me the microphone. "A few words from the man of the hour," he said. I stepped forward, smiling at the crowd. Friends, family, co-workers, all watching with warmth. "Thank you, everyone," I began. "For celebrating us, for believing in what Emma and I have." Applause filled the room. Emma beamed beside me, holding my hand. I continued. "Before we toast, I want to take a few minutes to share something special, a little journey at how it all started." The projector flickered to life. Soft piano music began. The first clips rolled. Me and Emma laughing at the beach, our first trip together, birthdays, little moments. The crowd smiled, some wiping tears. Emma squeezed my arm. "You're incredible," she whispered. I nodded, eyes fixed on the screen. Wait for it. The next slide appeared, our anniversary dinner, then a fade to black. The music softened, then the hotel hallway appeared, no captions, no transitions. Just her, Emma, walking into a room. Liam followed. A murmur ran through the crowd. The camera angle shifted slightly, showing their silhouettes. Their faces. Their hands. Their kiss. Gasps filled the hall. Someone dropped a glass. The music stopped. Emma froze, staring at the screen, her lips parting in horror. "Turn it off," she whispered. "Please, turn it off." Liam stood like a ghost, face drained. "What the hell is this?" I took the microphone again, calm, steady. "She said it was just a kiss," I said softly, eyes sweeping across the crowd. "Now you know." Silence crashed down, then erupted into whispers, shock, chaos. Emma turned to me, trembling. How could you do this here?" "How could you do it there?" I asked, pointing at the frozen image behind her. She shook her head violently. "It's not what it looks like." "It's exactly what it looks like," I said. "You lied, Emma. You both did." Liam tried to step closer. "Man, listen, don't," I warned. "You've said enough already," he stammered. "It was a mistake." "I didn't mean—" "Yeah," I said coldly. "Mistakes caught on camera are hard to erase." The guests began whispering louder, some recording, some backing away. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Please, can we talk privately?" "Everything's already public," I said. "That's what you wanted, right? A perfect love story?" She covered her face, shaking. "You ruined everything." "No," I said quietly. "You did." The video ended, the screen fading to black. I placed the microphone down, the echo ringing through the stunned silence. The crowd's noise swelled. Outrage. Pity. Disbelief. I turned to Emma one last time. The truth always looks ugly under the right light. Then I walked off the stage. Behind me, her sobs blended with applause from a few who understood, and for the first time in months, my heart felt completely still. The moment the video ended, the room turned into noise. Gasps, whispers, and the hum of phones recording everything. "Turn it off!" Emma screamed, but the damage was done. I stepped down from the stage, the lights glaring hot against my back. People moved out of my way like I was radioactive. "Man, wait," Liam called, his voice shaking. I didn't stop. He followed, stumbling through the crowd. "You've got this all wrong." I turned slightly. "Did I edit that footage? Or was that you?" He froze. "It wasn't—" "Don't," I said, my voice low. "Every word you say just makes it worse." Emma's sobs echoed behind me. "Please, stop!" "Everyone's staring." "They should," I said quietly. "They should finally see you." I reached the exit, pushing through the doors into the night. The air was cold, sharp, clean. For the first time in months, I could breathe. Behind me, the sound of heels on marble. "Wait!" I didn't turn. "Please," Emma said, her voice cracking. "You can't just walk away after that." "After what?" I asked. "After you humiliated yourself?" I just told the truth. Her hands trembled as she tried to touch my arm. "I made a mistake." "No," I said flatly. "You made choices!" She wiped at her mascara, smudging it further. "It didn't mean anything. You have to believe that." I looked at her then, really looked. The girl I once thought was my world, now standing there like a stranger wearing her face. "Nothing," I said. "You kissed him. You lied to me. You let me plan this night while you hid that secret. It wasn't supposed to happen," she cried. "It just did. It meant nothing." Guests were spilling out now, murmuring, pretending not to watch. Someone whispered, "Is this part of the show?" I almost laughed. "Yeah," I muttered. "The final act." Emma's voice softened. "I love you." I never stopped. I stared past her. "Love doesn't look like that video." She grabbed my sleeve. "Please, I can fix this. I'll tell everyone the truth. I'll make them understand." "They already do," I cut in. "You don't fix betrayal. You bury it." Her face fell, and for a second, I saw the woman who once made me believe in forever. That image burned more than the video ever could. "I can't lose you," she whispered. "You're everything to me." I shook my head slowly. "You already lost me the moment you chose him." She stepped closer. It meant nothing. The words broke out of her like a scream. I stood there, silence heavy between us, the lights from the hall flickering against her tears. Finally, I spoke. Calm, certain, empty. It meant everything to me. The sentence hung in the air like smoke. She froze, her breath catching. I turned away, the night swallowing her sobs as I walked into the cold, and for the first time, I didn't look back. 3 days. That's how long it took for everything to burn. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages, missed calls, screenshots. Everyone had an opinion. "Bro, you really exposed her like that?" Mark texted. I typed, "Yeah," then deleted it. I didn't reply. On social media, the video looped endlessly. The kiss, her face, my silence. People called it poetic justice. I called it exhaustion. By the 5th day, Emma vanished from everything. Her account's gone, her number disconnected. Liam quit his job, left town. Someone said his wife found out too. I didn't care enough to check. "Are you okay?" Mom asked over the phone, her voice soft, cautious. "I'm fine." "You don't sound fine." "I'm just tired." She sighed. "You got your revenge. But don't lose your heart too." I stayed silent, staring at the wall. "You can't rebuild from hate," she said. "It crumbles just the same." "I didn't do it out of hate," I said quietly. "I did it because truth mattered." "Maybe," she whispered. "But truth without peace will eat you alive." After we hung up, I sat there, just me, the hum of the fridge, the echo of everything I'd destroyed. Later that week, Claire came by. She stood at my door with a paper bag of takeout. "You look like death," she said. "Thanks. That's exactly what I needed to hear." She dropped the bag on the counter. "Everyone's talking about you. Half think you're a hero, half think you're insane. And you?" She shrugged. "I think you're hurt, and pretending you're not." "I'm fine," I repeated, though my chest felt hollow. "Fine people don't stare at walls for hours." I gave a faint smile. "Guess I'm just practicing mindfulness." She rolled her eyes. "Practice forgiveness instead." "Forgiveness?" I laughed softly. "After what they did?" She leaned against the counter. "After what you did. You wanted them to feel your pain. And they do." "But now what?" I didn't have an answer. That night I scrolled through old photos, the smiles, the trips, the fake forever. I deleted them one by one until my phone felt lighter, like erasing ghosts. Sleep came late, but when it did, it wasn't filled with anger. Just quiet. In the morning I opened the blinds. Sunlight hit the floor, and for the first time I didn't think of them. I brewed coffee, poured it slowly, and said to no one, "This is mine now." Peace didn't rush in. It crept, hesitant, fragile. But it was there. Maybe Mom was right. Revenge doesn't heal. It just stops the bleeding long enough for you to see the scar. And as I sipped the bitter coffee, I realized something. The storm wasn't gone. It just didn't own me anymore. I was finally learning to live again. One quiet morning at a time. It was raining when she came. Weeks had passed, but her knock felt like a ghost returning. I opened the door. Emma stood there drenched, eyes swollen, clutching a small umbrella like it could save her from everything. "Can I come in?" she asked, voice trembling. I stepped aside. "You already have." She looked around the apartment, quiet, stripped of us. "You redecorated." "I removed the lies," I said simply. Her throat tightened. "I deserve that." We stood in silence. The rain tapped the window like it wanted to fill the space we couldn't. "I'm sorry," she whispered finally. "For everything." "For lying." I raised a hand. "Don't list them. You'll run out of breath before you finish." She nodded, tears rolling. "I don't expect forgiveness. I needed to see you. To know you're okay, okay?" I let out a small laugh. "You don't destroy someone's heart and then check if the ashes are comfortable." Her lips trembled. "If you wanted to destroy me, you did. Everyone saw. Everyone knows." I stared at her. "No, Emma, you did that yourself." Her breath hitched. She looked at me like she wanted to find the man she once knew. But he was gone, buried somewhere under the wreckage she built. "I loved you," she said weakly. "I know," I whispered. "And that's the problem." She took a hesitant step forward. "If I could undo it, you can't." Her tears came harder. "I hate myself for it." "Then you've already punished yourself more than I ever could." We stood there, two strangers carrying the same broken thing, love that had nowhere left to go. Finally, she said, "You don't hate me, do you?" I shook my head. "No, I did. For a while. But hate keeps you tied to someone long after you should have let go." Her gaze softened through the tears. "Then what's left?" "Nothing," I said quietly. "And that's peace." She bit her lip, nodded, and turned to leave. The door creaked. "Emma," I said. She paused. "Take care of yourself." Her eyes met mine. Sorrow, regret, gratitude all tangled together. "You too," she whispered, then walked into the rain. The door shut. For the first time, it didn't echo. I exhaled, slow and steady. No anger, no bitterness. Just quiet release. The storm was over. The ocean stretched endlessly before me, calm, alive, honest. For the first time in months, I could breathe without it hurting. "Funny," I murmured, kicking the sand. "How silence can sound like peace." A voice behind me said, "You always did find poetry in everything." I turned. Liam. I hadn't seen him since that night. His face looked older. Guilt had done its work. "You shouldn't be here," I said flatly. "I know," he replied, "but I needed to say something." I folded my arms. "Then say it." "I'm sorry," he whispered. "For everything. For betraying you. For losing your friendship. You didn't deserve any of it." "No," I said softly. "I didn't." He looked down. "Emma left the city. She's not the same." "I'm not either," he nodded. "You hate me?" I stared at the waves, their rhythm steady and unbothered. "I did, for a long time. But hate's heavy. I carried it so long it started to feel like home." He swallowed. "So what now?" "I let it go," I said simply. "All of it." His eyes lifted to me, searching, almost desperate. "You forgive me?" I shrugged. "Forgiveness isn't for you. It's for me." He gave a broken laugh. "You always were stronger." "No," I said, "just done bleeding." He nodded once, then turned away, walking along the shore until he disappeared into the mist. I didn't follow. I didn't need to. I looked back at the horizon, the line where sky met sea, endless and indifferent. "Sometimes," I said aloud, "the best revenge is moving on while they drown in their own guilt." The wind carried my words away like it agreed. I sat on the sand, watching the tide crawl up and erase my footprints. It felt symbolic. Every trace of pain washed clean. I thought of Emma's tears, Liam's silence, my own reflection after everything burned down. None of it hurt anymore. It just existed, like a story that had finally reached its last page. I smiled, not from pride, but peace. The world didn't feel small anymore. It felt wide, full of things I hadn't ruined, full of chances I hadn't taken. For the first time, I didn't feel like the man who was betrayed. I felt like the man who survived it, and that was enough.